What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Friday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt. This podcast every morning in your inbox or on your YouTube by going to the BettingPros YouTube channel or go and subscribe wherever you get your audio podcasts. This podcast being brought to you by omahasteaks.com. The code, the URL, omahasteaks.com/juice. Sign up for a subscription and you get free burgers for life, plus 10% off everything you buy at omahasteaks.com. omahasteaks.com/juice is how you go there. All right, so kind of a weird 1 and 2. Now, my NBA betting is awful. It's the worst sport by far right now. So, what am I going to do tonight? I'm a little bored. I'm going to admit this, okay? When I get bored, I start to look around to have some fun. How can I spice up the podcast? How can I spice up what we're going to do? Somebody suggested it in the comment section on our YouTube on my other show, The Bostonian versus the Book, and they said it's time to bring back the Friday Don't Bet a Parlay, Matt. And the person's right. I only have 2 plays today. One is a half a unit parlay, and the other is one hockey bet for us tonight. I don't like the NBA slate. I've got one bet that I like. There's nothing in college that really jumps out at me. There's one bet that I kind of like that I thought we might jump on here. And there's a hockey play that I think is pretty good. And our guy, PSU Auto, OTTO, he likes it a lot. I'm going to trail him. I think he might be onto something here for hockey. So we're going to jump in on that here as well for a 3-leg plus 552. If you want to make it a little bit spicier, I'll tell you how you can make it a plus 7. What is that? You make it a plus 724 parlay. If you want, I'm going to go a little more conservatively and just take the plus 552. It's not 6-1 entirely, but it's good enough. So we'll get on that here in just 1 second. But before we give you the picks and the plays, it's time to announce our winner, the premium upgrade. The winner of the 1-year BettingPros premium subscription is Bronco Jim. Please get in touch with our customer service agents at mailbag@bettingpros.com with proof of your subscription to the BettingPros YouTube channel and your current bettingpros.com username, and you will get the upgrade processed for you as soon as we possibly can. Again, the winner is Bronco Jim. Congratulations. You have won 1 year of Betting Pros Premium for being a listener, subscriber, and it's just a good old nice juice member here from bettingpros.com. Okay. Y'all going to want the parlay? Did I say y'all? You all want the parlay? All right, here it is. Man, I hate this card tonight. But I'm going to put a half a unit on this because it's a small card. We will start in the NBA, where the Houston Rockets are currently hosting the Phoenix Suns. The Suns last night got worked by 10 at Dallas. Back-to-back games for Phoenix. They are 3.5-point, this is kind of crazy, favorites on the road at Houston. The Houston Rockets are 18-9-1 ATS at home this year. However, they are in a funk. The Houston Rockets have lost 7 of 8 games. Their only win was their last home game against New York, where they were 1-point favorites and they won by 2. Home games recently: New York laying 1, won by 2. Toronto laying 4.5. won by 29. New Orleans laying 1.5, lost by 11. That's their last home loss. It was back on the 31st of January. Home against the Lakers, catching 1. They won by 16 points. They've gone on the road to Minneapolis, lost, didn't cover. Indiana, lost and covered. Toronto, lost and didn't cover. Atlanta, lost and didn't cover. Memphis, lost and didn't cover. New Orleans, lost and didn't cover. All right? Flip side, on the road at Golden State, lost by 1. 1.5-point favorites for Phoenix. At Dallas, catching 2, lost by 10. Who the hell knows will play tonight? Maybe KD won't play because he played last night. Rockets is the first leg of this parlay. plus 3.5. Houston Rockets at home. Second leg, let's go to college basketball. Fairfield at Quinnipiac. There's someone who listens to this podcast up in the New England area who is a graduate of Quinnipiac, loves to talk about Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac is a 3-point home favorite tonight up against Fairfield. Quinnipiac is 7-5 ATS at home this year. They are 9-4-1 in conference so far this year. Fairfield is 7-8 ATS in conference, and they're 6-8 on the road. They covered the last game against Mount St. Mary's at home, but against St. Peter's on the road, won but didn't cover. Against Iona on the road, 5-point dogs, lost by 9. Against Manhattan on the road, laying 8, won by 7, didn't cover. Last time they covered was the middle of January when they were at Canisius, catching 2, and they won by 25. But the game before that, they were on the road against Niagara, laying 2, lost by 24. It's a big bounce back spot there. This number is 3. And yes, Quinnipiac has not been great recently. They lost back-to-back games against Mount St. Mary's, laying 1.5, lost by 17. Against Niagara, laying 8, lost by 14. Need to have a bounce back spot. KenPom has this as a 2-point win here for Quinnipiac. Line is 3. Number, according to KenPom, is 2. So maybe it's leaning more towards the dog here, but winning on the road in college basketball is really tough. 2-3, yes, a 1-point difference, but not entirely huge given the fact that the numbers right now really favor Quinnipiac. They have a defensive advantage here, although Fairfield can bomb threes. Fairfield gets 36% of their points from behind the 3-point line, and they're 23rd in 3-point percentage. That's a huge factor here for Quinnipiac. Got to get out, but on the road, you're far more likely to miss shots here and lose on the road from not hitting threes. Quinnipiac is much different. They are much more heavily focused on 2-point baskets. 51.6% of their points come inside the paint here, but Fairfield's defense is awful. 235th in efficiency, 261st in effective field goal percentage, 308th in 2-point defense. What's Quinnipiac's strength? 2-point offense. Not good here. Quinnipiac hits their free throws, 17th best in the country, over 77% from the free throw line as a team. That's huge. 20% of their offense comes from the free throw line, which is big. Take a team that hits their free throws. ESPN News at this game, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Fairfield at Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac -3, second leg of the parlay. And third and final leg of the parlay, Chris Otto. He loves what's going on here. Horrible spot for Columbus. Columbus is going up against the Buffalo Sabres. Home off of a 4-game West Coast road trip for Columbus. Third game in 4 nights and playing on just 1 day of rest here for Buffalo. You can really spice this up if you want. If you take Buffalo in 60, meaning no overtime, this parlay goes to a plus 724 parlay if you want it. But we're just going to do officially Sabres money line, which makes it a plus 552 parlay for a half a unit. All right. Rockets plus 3.5. Quinnipiac -3. Sabres money line on the road against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, it's minus 135 at DraftKings for the Sabres money line. Inside regulation or without overtime, it's plus 120. That's how you get to the plus 724 number. We're going to calm it down here just a little bit, and we're going to take the Buffalo Sabres just on the money line, making it a plus 552 parlay here for a half a unit for the Don't Bet Parlays, which is back for at least one Friday here for us on the podcast. Now, let me just explain something to people who somebody asked me before, why don't you do same game parlays? I don't like parlaying to begin with, but I really especially have a problem with same game parlays. For starters, the odds aren't nearly what they should be, okay? You're not going to get true odds. True odds are the actual odds based on the math of a 4-leg, 5-leg parlay, okay? This is the same thing that runs into when it comes to the prop betting sites that let you parlay all the prop bets together. They never give you true odds, okay? 5, 6 to 1 or 6-leg parlays should pay way more, like literally almost double for what they offer. A 6-leg parlay should be like 5-1, not 20, plus 250, or 25-1 they pay. That's not good enough. Okay, it should be like 48-1 or 50-1. Parlaying is tough. You guys love doing it. I always say do not parlay my picks. It's a bad idea because it's a losing bet. Over time, you will lose. Trying to make money betting parlays, you will lose. Straight betting is far more conservative, but far more likely to lead to long-term success than parlay, okay? I bring this back. I do this as a tongue-in-cheek thing, okay? When I get to spots like I am tonight where the card sucks, I'm bored, and I want to go ahead and give you something spicy and unique. I want to have some fun. I always want to make the podcast fun. Gambling's fun. So let's push our luck a little bit, have some fun. Houston Rockets plus 3.5. Quinnipiac minus 3. Sabres money line, half a unit plus 552 parlay. That would win us over 2.5 units if this thing comes in and cashes and will put us into the black for the week if that happens. So not that I'm trying to make up for this with this, but there are 3 bets in 3 sports that we can watch tonight together for the Don't Bet Parlays parlay here on the Daily Juice. I do have one other bet I want to make. The Oilers are at home up against the Minnesota Wild. The Wild are 7-2-1 to the over their last 10 games on the road. Expected goaltender is Gustafsson for Minnesota, who just gave up 5 goals to Vancouver in that 10-5 Wild game. Against Buffalo, he gave up 3 goals in a 3-2 loss to the Sabres at home. On the road, he gave up 3 goals to the Golden Knights. It was a 5-3 win. It went over. Against Chicago, gave up 1 goal in a 2-1 win. But in the road game before that, a 5-2 win over Carolina and a 6-4 win over Florida and a 7-3 loss over Tampa Bay against Tampa Bay. So of the last 5 road games for Gustafsson in net, 4 of them have gone over. Skinner's in net on the other side. Skinner's not been horrible. He's been pretty good, actually, for the Oilers. And the Oilers went that a whole period of holding their opponents to 3 goals or less over like 25 games. It was crazy. But I think Minnesota's tempo will allow for scoring opportunities, and I think you need 2 to tango for an under. I think this game gets dictated by Minnesota. Up tempo. Over 6.5 is minus 125. I'm going to bet over 6.5 for Edmonton in Minnesota here. Don't trust the goaltenders. Just too much offense for both teams. For the Oilers, last time out, 6-5 loss to Boston. Before that, 6-3 win against Arizona. Before that, 4-3 win over Dallas. Before that, 6-3 loss to St. Louis. Before that, 8-4 win against Detroit. Last 5 games for the Oilers, all over 6.5 goals. Bet the streak. Oilers Wild over 6. The first 2 matchups, 7-4, 4-3. Let's go for a clean sweep here for the over between the Wild and the Oilers. Over 6.5 for minus 125 for 1.25 units. Okay, so 1.75 units in play here. Half a unit parlay, 1 hockey bet. The Don't Bet Parlays. Rockets plus 3.5. Quinnipiac minus 3 against Fairfield. Sabres money line on the road at Columbus. You can, again, spice it up if you want with jumping in with a in regulation wager, but we're just doing money line here. Plus 552 for a half a unit and 1.25 units down over 6.5 for the Oilers hosting the Wild for 1.25 units. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning. Daily Juice Podcast always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.